Hi, this is Dave Dirks, co-author of the book, The New Marketing Analytics. In today's segment, I want to talk to you a little bit about the election of November 2016, the presidential election. And I think there's some things we can learn about the data analytics that went into a lot of the presidential politics. It was pretty clear to a lot of us on the data side that there was a real big miss in terms of the data that was collected by multiple different kinds of organizations, universities that do a lot of polling, companies that do their own polling, other nonprofit organizations that do polling, even the candidates and their own organizations that do their own polling. There's lots of data out there that's being developed in any kind of a political campaign. And in this presidential campaign, there was a ton of data. So how is it that both sides miscalculated to some degree, and maybe more so one side miscalculated more than the other? Even news organizations in their own polls were off and did not, or were not able to detect the true insights of what the trends were within the voting population of the United States. So, that this whole election is going to be studied for a long time, and there'll be lots of different articles and research published on what went wrong in this particular election in terms of how they missed, how the analytics and all the data analytics people, a lot of smart people out there around the country focused on data analytics, and particularly in this 2016 election. So I'm going to share with you 5 things I want you to think about on the and that kind of really came from the context of this election and the problems we had in terms of the polls. First of all, I think it's really important to make sure that if you're dealing with data analytics, make sure you never get stuck into that vicious cycle of what we call groupthink. That's where people get together. It could be an executive team or a marketing team, and after a while, you kind of believe what you believe because all of you feed on the same belief. So the groupthink piece is where you kind of feed on the same beliefs, and it's very difficult for other data, other insights, other knowledge to break in through that groupthink, because everybody's kind of reinforcing, yeah, this is how it is, or yeah, this is what we know, and this has got to be true. So groupthink has a tendency to greatly blur any insights, and sometimes even snuff them out. The second thing I want you to take a note of is you always need to be asking yourself when you're working with data. I don't care if you're an executive or you're the data scientist. That is, you need to always be looking at what data sets might we be missing that could be integral to helping us solve or gain an insight that we didn't think of before. That brings me kind of to my next one, number 3, which is never assume. Never assume anything and question everything. And I say this in a lot of the segments I do on this YouTube channel, but it's very important to never make any assumptions, which again goes back to that group think piece. But also we ourselves can get stuck into, our own experiences, our own biases. So question everything along the way. Never take anything for granted. And number 4, I think you need to be willing to shine the light, as I like to say, on those data insights that are counter or disruptive to groupthink or to what we know is the truth in our company. And I think that's very important. If you're the marketing manager, if you're the CMO, you're the CIO, you're the CEO, whatever role you have, if you find a data insight and you can validate certain insights and you go, wow, this runs counter to what we've known or what we've seen before. Oftentimes it's a political jungle. How do I present this data? So I think you need to be willing to step up, and as long as you feel that you validated the data insights you're looking at, be able to shine the light on them and be able to present them to other people in the company or in the enterprise, and again, challenging everything. And then, of course, 5, give others a chance to view the data insights and the data sets you're working with. I think it's important oftentimes to have fresh eyes on the same data, because if you stare at the same things all the time, after a while you don't absorb anymore, or you're just going to be somewhat dulled after a while to not see maybe insights that others with different experiences and different perspectives and different contexts can see. So it's important not to operate in too tight of a, what I like to call a skunk works. It's kind of off to the side, kind of deep into the data, starting to kern out some insights, but not being able to really get the most out of it because you're not willing to have others take a look at it as well to see what you might not be seeing. So I hope you found this helpful. This particular segment was kind of inspired because of the results of the 2016 presidential election and some of the data analytics problems we had there, which will hopefully shed some light on in other segments. This is Dave Dirks. I want to encourage you, if you want more information on how to manage from the senior marketer or CMO perspective, marketing analytics, take a look at our book, The New Marketing Analytics, available at Amazon.com. And we appreciate your time. Have a great day.